The 2026 NASCAR Cup Series season has reached its most brutal checkpoint of the year. In one single night at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 6 championship dreams were mathematically destroyed. Not by a crash. Not by a controversy. By pure, cold points math. And now, with only the Coke Zero Sugar 400 at Daytona International Speedway left to run on August 29, 5 drivers are fighting for just 3 remaining playoff spots. This is not a preview of drama that might happen. This is the actual, unresolved reality of NASCAR's new elimination system, and nobody, not even a former champion, is safe from it. Before we go further, if this is your first time watching a breakdown like this from NASCAR Racing World, we're closing in on 500 subscribers, and every single subscribe, like, and comment genuinely helps this channel keep bringing you this kind of coverage. It costs nothing, it takes 5 seconds, and it tells us you want more of exactly this. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe before you keep reading. Your support is what keeps this channel growing. Here is the system that created this chaos. NASCAR scrapped the old win-and-in bracket format for 2026 and brought back the points-based chase. There are no more mercy rounds. There is no bracket reset that forgives a bad week. The top 16 drivers in regular season points after 26 races advance to the chase, their points reset once, and they race the final 10 events with no further cuts. One bad stretch of races, and years of work can vanish before the playoffs even begin. A win still counts, but it no longer guarantees a golden ticket the way it once did. The elimination process didn't happen all at once. It built for months. Rick Ware Racing's Cody Ware was the first driver mathematically eliminated from title contention, falling out after the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, Connor Zilisch, and Cody Ware were gone before Richmond even started. Then, at the Cookout 400 at Richmond Raceway, 5 more fell: Austin Dillon, Riley Herbst, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., John Hunter Nemechek, and Alex Bowman were all mathematically knocked out in that single race. 8 full-time drivers entered New Hampshire still clinging to a mathematical chance, needing to stay within 152 points of the cut line with only 2 races remaining. Then came the Dollar Tree 301 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on August 23, and it ended 6 more championship hopes in one night. Ross Chastain suffered an early exit and was mathematically eliminated from chase contention as a result. Eric Jones fell to 96 points behind the cut line, too far back for even a Daytona win to matter. Michael McDowell, a former Daytona 500 winner, dropped out of range as well. A.J. Allmendinger, a veteran of the series, fell to 130 points behind. Front Row Motorsports teammates Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith also could not close the gap, falling to 142 and roughly 150 points behind respectively. With a maximum of only 76 points available at Daytona, 55 for the win, 10 apiece for the 2-stage wins, and 1 for the fastest lap, none of these 6 can mathematically make up the deficit. Their seasons are effectively over before the final race even starts. That is 6 eliminated in one night. Not a 6-car pileup. Not a single dramatic wreck. Just arithmetic, and it was just as final. While 6 drivers were being eliminated, 5 others were fighting to survive, and their stories carry just as much weight. Austin Cindric currently sits inside the cut line in 15th, but his cushion has been fragile all summer. Before his climb up the standings in mid-August, he hadn't finished in the top 10 in an oval race since April. Shane van Gisbergen holds the 16th and final transfer spot, the exact spot the video title points to. The New Zealander has been a road course wrecking ball in 2026, tying for the most wins in the series, but ovals have historically been his weakness, and it is an oval, Daytona, that will decide whether he keeps his seat in the chase. Ryan Preece sits just outside the cut line, only 31 points back, the tightest margin in this entire fight. Preece has openly discussed how difficult his season became mid-year. Speaking at Iowa Speedway, Preece said the month of May and June were just as bad as you can get from a team standpoint. That stretch is part of why he now finds himself on the wrong side of the cut line heading into the finale. Preece's season carries an extra layer of controversy. Back in May, at the Worth 400 at Texas Motor Speedway, Preece made contact with Ty Gibbs' car on lap 101, sending Gibbs into the wall and ending his day in 36th place. NASCAR penalized Preece 25 points and fined him $50,000 under the sports member conduct rules. Preece explained his mindset afterward, but decisions you make on the racetrack, there are repercussions, and I try to race everybody with an amount of respect that I'd like in return. RFK Racing appealed the penalty, and the National Motorsports Appeals Panel upheld it in full. That penalty dropped Preece a spot in the standings at the time. Now, with the chase cut line sitting just 31 points from where he stands, that 25-point deduction could end up being the exact margin that keeps him out of the playoffs entirely. Brad Keselowski, the 2012 Cup Series champion, rounds out the group of 5 still fighting. He is the only former champion currently outside a guaranteed playoff position, a fact that underlines just how unforgiving this points system has become. Even a title from over a decade ago offers no protection once the math turns against a driver. Rounding out the group is Bubba Wallace, who currently holds a stronger cushion than the others in this fight but is not yet mathematically locked in. 5 drivers. 3 spots. 1 race. That is the official picture released by NASCAR itself heading into Daytona. Wallace, Cindric, Van Gisbergen, Preece, and Keselowski, all separated by margins tight enough that a single bad pit stop or a single multi-car wreck could flip the entire equation. This is where things get genuinely unpredictable, because Daytona is not a normal racetrack. It is a superspeedway, where drivers run in tightly packed rows at nearly 200 miles per hour, and a single mistake anywhere in the field can trigger a chain reaction wreck that swallows up cars that had nothing to do with the original incident. NASCAR has seen this exact scenario before. A year earlier, Harrison Burton won the regular season finale at Daytona while sitting 34th in points, the lowest full-time driver to win a Cup race since Casey Mears in 2007, and that single victory completely rewrote the entire playoff picture overnight. It is entirely possible for a driver with no championship prospects at all to win Saturday's race and, in doing so, bump one of these 5 men out of the field. That is the reality hanging over this finale. Van Gisbergen has to survive an oval race in a car built for road courses. Preece has to make up 31 points while carrying the weight of a penalty that might end up costing him his season by the same margin it once cost him a spot in the standings. Keselowski has to prove that a championship pedigree from over a decade ago still means something when the math says otherwise. Cindric has to hold a spot he has held for barely 2 weeks. And Wallace has to protect what is currently the strongest position among the group without